What's up everybody, Silver here with another Halo 5 Guardians achievement guide. This time we're doing Fire Drill, which is finish evacuation within 18 minutes without dying on heroic difficulty. I'd imagine you could do this on legendary if you'd like, but you just need to do it on heroic here. So hop in here immediately into this Goshawk and wait for one of your people to get in here. Doesn't matter who. It's different every time. It's whoever gets there first. And then just drive through the whole level until you could go no further. So we're just going to drive right through here. You could do this on heroic or legendary, like I mentioned. You could do this co-op if you'd like, which is probably good. If one of you dies, then that one person who died could just, go through and kill everybody for you, and the person who's getting the achievement still could just hang back and not risk himself dying. So that's one way to do it. Another way is to just do it solo, like I'm doing it here, and we're just not going to die. But for the most part in the beginning here, we're not going to put ourselves at risk of dying, because we're just going to be in this Goshawk. There's a Warthog up ahead. That's the reason I stopped. That is being manned by 2 soldiers, which is not cool, because they could tear you apart pretty quickly. So that's why I kind of backed off there for a second. But for the most part, you can just drive through with the Goshawk. Sometimes those Warthog soldiers are not there. Sometimes they don't get in that Warthog, so that's helpful when they don't do that. Then you can speed through even quicker. But you can see we're just driving through. It's not too tough at this point, just driving on through. So we're actually going to get our Goshawk to go with us further than it is intended to go. So we're just going to just drive it over this wreckage. You're supposed to get out here, apparently, but I just drive it right over. So you got to drive it over. It might take a few tries. There we go. Got it on the second try. If it does get stuck, which it has gotten stuck when I've tried to do this, but if that happens to you, you could just put a grenade under it and that will blow up and dislodge it. And obviously put it on the side opposite of the side you want the Warthog to go, because you want to blow it towards this section. So just stay in and your Spartan buddy will stay in for you. And you can see I'm just kind of slowly and surely making my way through here, and I'm actually marking the targets that I want my team to shoot at. So you can see I use the D-pad. I don't know, it's probably the D-pad for you as well, just to mark all the enemies and instruct your team where to shoot and who to shoot. And you could actually instruct your remaining Spartans, your 2 other Spartans who aren't in your Warthog, to move up or move to certain positions you want them to go to kind of distract the enemies and get them to not fire at you. Because if your Warthog takes too much damage, it will actually blow up, and that's no good, because the achievement is to not die. Even though there is a workaround for not dying. If you just hit start and then revert to last checkpoint, it will actually allow you to keep going, and it does not register that death. So that is something to keep in mind. That's very helpful. I actually die a couple times at the end. I fall off the building while I'm trying to make my way up the building to get to the Pelican at the end of the mission. But I actually was able to just hit start and then revert to last checkpoint, and then I went all the way to the top, and luckily it popped for me. So apparently that's something you could do. But obviously you want to minimize dying, because if you die, then you're just wasting time, and you do need to hit that 18-minute mark or less to get the achievement. So again, we're just moving up slowly and surely. You don't want to take too much damage from your Warthog. If your Warthog is on fire, you probably want to get out at that point, because even if you have a full shield and your Warthog is weak, it could take a couple shots and you will blow up and die, even if you have full shields. So if your Warthog is on fire, probably a good idea to hop out. So you want to kind of preserve it and baby your little Warthog. Oh god, that guy's got some kind of rockets or something up there. So I'm just going to hop out, and I'm just going to headshot him, because why not? It's much safer for me to do that than try to get my people to shoot him while I expose my lovely Warthog. So we have a decent time going right now. We have to go through this doorway up ahead eventually and take out some enemies in the elevator, and then we got to go up the elevator and continue to fight some waves of enemies in there. And then we have to go escape by going up to the top of the building. So that's all we have left. The last wave of enemies in this section will spawn up here behind these barricades. I decided to just drive up and splatter some of them, which worked out pretty well. You want to make sure that you don't get too close to any soldiers while you're not going very quickly, because they can board you and kick you out. And when they do board you and kick you out, that's fine in and of itself, but your entire Spartan team will actually turn on the Warthog and just destroy it. So if you want to keep using it, you obviously want that to not happen, because your fire team will blow it up if there's an enemy in it. So I just skipped ahead there a little bit. I'm just sitting there in front of that doorway waiting for it to open. Governor Sloan has some dialogue between you and himself, so you want to obviously just sit there and wait for the door to open. So I cut that out. It's about 45 seconds or a minute of something they're talking about, all that nonsense. You don't need to hear it again, but you'll hear it when you do it. And here we go. This elevator is full of enemies right when you come in here. I like to target the Watchers first because they are the most annoying. They can shield all the other enemies, and it's easy to take them out without exposing yourself to all the other enemies since they're kind of flying above all of the other people. And then slowly and surely take them out like we did in the previous section, pretty much the same thing. Again, I am targeting and ordering my fire team to take out each enemy as I come across them. And since we have the Gauss Hog, it's pretty quick work, which is great. The Gauss Hog is awesome for tearing apart pretty much any enemy. But now we're done. We want to scan the area. If you don't know where to activate, it's right to my back left at this point. So I activate that, and then you see the nav point on this computer. Something I did not expect is once you get out of the Warthog, it disappears when you're in the elevator. So that is not cool. I was keeping my Warthog all nice and shiny and new, expecting to use it to fight all these guys. But when you get out, it actually disappears. So something to keep in mind. You don't have to keep it all spick and span like I did, apparently, because it'll just disappear when you get out of the Warthog. You might be able to command one of your Spartans using the ordering system to go activate the elevator. I'm not sure about that. But another thing you could try is have one of your friends activate it if you're playing co-op. So maybe if you stay in it, if one of you at least stays in it, it won't disappear, but it might still just disappear anyway. I'm not sure. But it's worth a shot at least. So once you're in this elevator, there will be 3 different waves that spawn into this area while you're going up, and there's some dialogue in between each wave, so it kind of takes some time just to stand around and do nothing. So that's kind of annoying in regards to this achievement since we gotta make some sweet time. But I just skipped ahead to the next wave. Obviously there's more dialogue. A good defensible position is right up here where I am right now. You can see we're kind of at a vantage point where we could see most of the other areas, and we could kind of back up and take cover as we need to. So here comes the second wave. Obviously we're going to take out the close enemies first because they are the most dangerous and threatening to us, especially this guy because he has a gigantic splinter turret. So that's one of the new guns in this game, is the Splinter, which is a Forerunner turret which you could rip off its mounting and carry around, which is what that soldier was doing. So take that out, obviously, if it's close to you, because that is a gigantic threat. And I'm actually going to pick that up and use it against them in a little bit, but I'm just taking out the close enemies first. Obviously, keep in mind that you could have your Spartans target any particular enemy if you'd like we were doing in the past with the Gauss Hog, and we could also just have them move up to whatever position we want them to as well. So keep that in mind. Definitely useful in different scenarios. I grabbed the Splinter turret here, which is pretty effective against all enemies, and so we could just easily use that to smash into some people. So we skipped ahead to the third and final wave here. There are going to be 3 Promethean Knights which spawn in, and you take them out in a different way than you do in Halo 4. I'm just going to pummel this guy with the Splinter turret though, so that takes him out. And there are 2 more, so I'm just going to use the remaining Splinter shots on that guy. And instead of shooting them anywhere to take their shield down and then shooting them in the face like you would an Elite and you would a Promethean Knight in Halo 4, you actually want to shoot them in the sides of the back. So you can see where their glowing rings are on the sides of them. You want to shoot those, and that actually breaks off their carapace or whatever it is on the back of them. Their gigantic overstuffed backpack breaks off. And then when that happens, they will yell at you or something and scream and open up their face plate. And when that happens, you could easily headshot them. Not easily, but you could headshot them. And then they will kind of like that. But then you could see I missed the headshot there, so I was unable to land the headshot, and I would have had to break off the other side to get him to open up his faceplate again. But luckily, he took enough damage somehow from other things, probably the incineration cannon I just laid into him with. But after those 3 waves of enemies, there is even more dialogue, and the Guardian will start moving around, and there will be a big shockwave that goes through the elevator, and you'll know it when you see it because you're kind of lifted up, and your shield goes down and everything. And then you got to find the exit, which is right there where I just went through. And we're just going to climb up. The rest of this is just running and escaping the exploding, burning building, whatever's happening. It's collapsing. We want to get out of here, I know that, so something bad's happening. The Guardian is about to do something crazy, so just keep climbing up. There's multiple pathways to get up on top of this building, so you could take your own path, you could follow the path I'm doing if you'd like. Once we get close to the top of this building, there are going to be a bunch of Promethean soldiers that spawn in, and I'm actually just going to run right by them, so you'll see me do that. Again, you could take any path you want up here for the most part. I took a different path the first time I played this, and now this is my second time playing through, so 2 different playthroughs, 2 totally different pathways. I'm sure there's even more pathways that I've yet to discover. There's probably just a much better way that someone's going to find in like 2 days or something, but this works for our purposes. So I tried to jump up on the railing and get on top of the roof here, which it seems like you should be able to do, but apparently there's a soft ceiling here that's preventing me from doing that, so kind of lame. I'm going to try one more time and fail, and then I'll be like, alright, not worth it, I'm just leaving. And then I do it up here a couple times as well, so obviously don't do that, it doesn't work, or maybe it does work and I just don't know how to do it right yet, because I haven't found any of the glitches or the walls that you can get through or any of that nonsense, since this just came out yesterday. So lucky for us, all these soldiers are pretty much just busy warping around and not shooting at us. So you can see I made it through without taking a lot of damage. My shield is still partially up, so running right by them is definitely doable. And then you just make your way out onto the platform here where the Pelican is. The Guardian will let out a couple shockwaves and it will blow you back. But then once that ends, just run out on the platform towards the Pelican and it will trigger the cutscene and you will get your achievement if you finish within 18 minutes. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Click like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Follow me on Twitter at HaloCompletion and on Twitch at SilverScorpion4, and I will see you guys later for more Halo achievements.